Are you familiar with racism? Listen up. I want to give a little explanation as to why I'm telling the story about performative allyship and how it connects to so much of what we're seeing in the world today. I mentioned in part one that a woman reached out to me because she felt she was being pushed out of her volunteer organization because she was a black woman. And I need people to understand something. These things just don't come from nowhere. Sometimes precedent gets set when harmful behavior goes unchecked. When people are allowed to mistreat others, manipulate narratives, or benefit from exclusion without accountability, somebody else watches and thinks, if they can do it, why can't I? And that's how patterns continue. That's how bias gets normalized. And that's exactly how performative allyship survives. What am I talking about? Watch this video I shared a few months ago that give context on the situation that led me to create this performative allyship series. If you are in the New Jersey area, you need to pay attention to your PTA. In 2024, the New Jersey PTA interfered in the business of the Glenfield PTA in Montclair, New Jersey. One person at the center of this controversy was a Karen, who, along with her allies, fed false information to the New Jersey PTA in an alleged effort to remove all of the black leadership from the Glenfield PTA Executive Board and to secure a board executive seat for herself. This Karen not only gave false information to the New Jersey PTA and their president, Sharon Roseborough, but this Karen and her allies also gave false information to the local publication known as the Montclair Local. The result, a community firestorm that actually raised the membership of the Glenfield PTA at the time and in turn boosted the NJPTA revenue, because the NJPTA gets a portion of the membership fees that are obtained from any PTA in the state. So if you purchase a membership from a PTA, the NJPTA gets a portion. On October 30th, 2024, Sharon Roseborough, the NJPTA president, coordinated an unprecedented run-from-the-floor election at Glenfield Middle School. This election did not include the sitting Glenfield PTA board, and the outcome was no black members left on the Glenfield PTA executive board, and this Karen, with an executive board leadership role that she had been chasing for years. By the end of the 2025 school year, this Karen sent a community-wide email stating that she felt confident that her new PTA executive board, who, by the way, did not exist of any black people, she was confident that her new team would be leaving the PTA in a positive place. And in her email that took credit for certain things that other people had done, the signature listed 3 board members who, as I mentioned, all non-black. This reinforces the allegation that the entire time the agenda was to remove any black leadership from that PTA's executive board. In addition, it was rumored that blacks could only serve on the PTA as helpers, not as executive officers, but that they could help only. You can't be an officer, but you can sure give us your help. The NJPTA involvement completely violates their bylaws. And while all of the NJPTA board members did not agree with the NJPTA inserting themselves into the business of an organization that was completely separate, the NJPTA took action to remove the board member who did not agree. Here we are. They have now issued a statement through their attorney claiming that they are a separate business entity from the Glenfield PTA. Well, if they are now saying that they are a separate business entity from the Glenfield PTA, then what the hell were they doing inserting themselves into the business of the Glenfield PTA, which appeared to be a completely racist agenda? Let me just add, the NJPTA president, she's black. Okay, well, if the NJPTA president is black, how can this be racism? Well, you know what? Some people will do anything for money, okay? And you mean to tell me out of all of the black families in that school, there wasn't one black person that they could find to put on that PTA? Not one. No blacks. 0 blacks. And bigger than all of those things, they literally did not have the authority to do what they did at all.
It violated their bylaws. It went against everything.
Now, do you see how a precedent gets set? Do you see how people learn from what gets rewarded and repeat what goes unchallenged? Do you see how performative allyship plays out in real life? Because it's never just about one incident. It's about what gets tolerated, repeated, and passed on. And that's exactly why telling these stories matters. Stay tuned for the next part in the series.